Ever feel like your brain's stuck in first gear while everyone else is speeding past? Right this second, as you're listening, countless other students are already putting into practice what I'm about to reveal. They're the ones snagging those dream internships, getting into the top graduate programs, and seizing the opportunities you truly deserve. In study halls and bedrooms, students, probably a lot like you, are quietly gaining an edge. It's not about being smarter or more gifted. They simply possess a key you haven't found yet. In the coming minutes, I'm laying out the very blueprint that separates the top 1% of students from the pack. This isn't your typical study advice. This is the hidden manual that took me from being a C student to scraping by to graduating in the top 5% of my entire class. But here's a hard truth. This knowledge loses its power with every moment you hesitate. Why? Because while you're thinking it over, others are already using these exact strategies to build an almost unfair advantage. Picture this. You see classmates breeze through exams, getting A's effortlessly, while you're working twice as hard just for a B. You feel that pit in your stomach whenever a professor mentions an upcoming test. You're starting to realize your current study methods aren't just slow, they're actively holding you back. I get it because I've been there. 3 years ago, I was that student convinced that just working harder was the magic solution. I was completely mistaken, dead wrong. Here's the kicker that most people never hear. A staggering 92% of students rely on study techniques that neuroscience has shown to be utterly ineffective. It's like trying to carry water in a leaky bucket. Pour all you want, you'll never achieve the results you're after. The system I'm about to unveil isn't just another study tip sheet. This is a full-blown framework built on breakthrough research in cognitive science, proven tactics from elite achievers, and validated with thousands of students in real-world settings. Let's be honest about how most of us were taught to study. Completely the wrong way. I know because I did it all. I spent endless hours rereading textbooks until my eyes felt like sandpaper. I'd highlight nearly every line in bright neon, as if the color itself would magically sear the words into my memory. Like so many, I'd resort to frantic, all-night cramming sessions before exams, desperately trying to absorb everything at once. And what happened? I'd forget most of it within a week. Does that sound familiar? We keep repeating these actions, then wonder why nothing sticks, why we can't recall what we supposedly learned just the day before. I went through all that frustration, feeling totally defeated, until I stumbled upon what truly makes a difference. I'm about to share a game-changing approach that turned everything around for me, breaking down the science of powerful learning into 3 core principles. First, I'll reveal how to make information truly cement itself in your brain. Then, you'll discover the secret to studying less, but actually learning more. Yes, it's entirely possible. Finally, I'll show you how to transform these potent methods into effortless, automatic habits. Let's dive into the first game changer, making information stick. Your brain isn't like a dusty old attic for storing facts. It's more like a muscle that gets stronger with the right kind of workout. The teach it method is your first secret weapon. After you've studied a topic, close your book. Now, imagine you're explaining it to a friend. Break it down into simple terms, as if you're talking to someone who has zero prior knowledge. The moments you get stuck or find yourself stumbling over words, that's gold. You just pinpointed exactly what you need to go back and review. This technique compels your brain to actively wrestle with the material, not just passively skim it. The question first technique boosts this even further. Before you even crack open your textbook, jot down a few questions you anticipate the chapter will answer. This simple act shifts your brain into detective mode. You become an active hunter, searching for specific clues and answers, instead of just mindlessly drifting through the pages. You will be astonished at how much more information you retain when you're actively seeking answers to your own questions. Now, let's talk about the magic of studying less while learning more. The Power Hour method is your key here. Here's the breakdown. Instead of those draining marathon study sessions, you divide your study time into super focused bursts. First, find a study spot completely free of distractions. That means no phone, no social media, nothing that could pull your attention away. Next, Choose just one subject or one specific task to focus on. Set a timer for 25 minutes of absolutely pure, focused work. During this window, you do nothing else but that single task. When the timer dings, stop immediately. Take a quick 5-minute break. Repeat this cycle 3 times. After 3 focused bursts, reward yourself with a longer 30-minute break to fully recharge. I can almost hear some of you thinking, wait, only 25 minutes for each subject? How can that possibly be enough for something really complex like calculus? And that's a fair question. Here's the truth. While 25 minutes might seem brief, for subjects like math or physics, you can certainly extend these focus sessions to 45 or even 50 minutes. The real secret is discovering your personal sweet spot, that period where your concentration is absolutely at its peak, just before it starts to dip. Here's how you can tailor it. Begin with 25-minute blocks for subjects that rely heavily on memorization or reading comprehension. For problem-solving subjects, like mathematics or engineering, experiment with 45 to 50-minute blocks. During these focus periods, it's crucial to eliminate every single distraction. No phone, no social media notifications, no interruptions. You might be wondering, but what if I'm right in the middle of solving a difficult problem when the timer goes off? Great point. Unlike some rigid time-blocking systems, allow yourself a natural pause. Finish that equation you're working on, or complete the problem set. Then, take your break. Aim for a 10 to 15-minute break between these longer blocks to keep your mind sharp and refreshed. But won't all these breaks shatter my concentration? Actually, it's the opposite. These planned, strategic breaks are vital. They prevent mental burnout and, importantly, help your brain consolidate what you've just learned. Think of it like interval training at the gym. You wouldn't try to lift weights for 3 hours straight, would you? Your brain needs similar recovery periods to perform at its best. Here's the crucial twist that makes this method incredibly effective. Don't just stick to one subject for hours on end. Alternate between different subjects. Maybe spend 45 minutes on math, then switch to 25 minutes of history, and then perhaps back to math. You might think, won't switching subjects just confuse me? Surprisingly, no. Research clearly shows that this kind of rotation actually helps your brain forge stronger, more durable connections. It enhances learning through a process called interleaving. It's like cross-training, but for your brain. What truly distinguishes the most successful students isn't raw intelligence or some innate talent. It's their fundamental approach to learning. These top performers never, ever waste time passively rereading textbooks. Instead, they are constantly testing themselves. They understand that genuine learning ignites when you actively try to explain concepts in your own words, just as if you were teaching a friend. They treat their brains like a muscle, knowing that real growth comes from the struggle of recall, not from simply glancing over notes again and again. These high achievers also don't boast about pulling all-nighters or enduring endless study marathons. Instead, they work in short, intense, focused bursts. They know that concentrated effort will always beat mindless, prolonged cramming every single time. Here's the tough reality. Every single day, you continue to rely on ineffective study methods. Your competition silently pulls further and further ahead. Right now, while you're absorbing this, other students are already implementing these very strategies. They're actively testing themselves instead of just passively reading. They're studying in focused, powerful blocks instead of succumbing to last-minute cramming. They are building these potent habits into their daily routines. The gap between you and them widens with each passing day. But the good news is you can start closing that gap right now. The only real question is, are you ready to join the ranks of the top performers, or will you allow yourself to keep falling behind? And there you have it. Don't let this just be another video you watch and then promptly forget. Take decisive action now. Pick just one method you heard today and make a commitment to try it out this week. If you want more game-changing study strategies like these, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications.